With overwhelming support, Ronald Reagan signed into law an unprecedented array of mandatory minimum sentences for drug crimes. But no drug would receive harsher penalties than crack.
The penalties were outrageous. That is, the penalty for crack cocaine was made 100 times more punitive than for powder cocaine.
Acceptance of coke is widespread, commonplace among professionals.
Whites were using powder cocaine in boardrooms in suburban America. Blacks were using crack cocaine in public housing and on the street. And what's the response?
Just wipe me out straight off the map for nothing. 57 years for some small rock, you know what I'm saying? I want to know why I'm being treated like I murdered somebody, you know?
Over time, as the number of blacks in America's prisons for drug crimes skyrocketed, far outpacing the number of whites, many people, including many judges, began to question the disparity in sentencing between crack and powder.
But would people change their tough-on-crime minds here in the U.S. if they knew how much it was costing them? A new research paper conducted over 3 years by a senior California judge and a law professor finds that the death penalty has cost California $4 billion since it was reinstated in 1978. And that's for 13 executions that have been carried out since that time, which equals out to $308 million a person. Which means that the additional costs of capital trials, enhanced security on death row, legal representation for the condemned, that all adds $184 million to the California budget each year. And they conclude that if the system isn't reformed, the costs are only going to rise, estimating that by 2030, the tab is going to be at $9 billion. So let's get
I had known for months that it was coming because you know what stage you're at in your appeals. When you're on death row, death or thinking about death is unavoidable, you know, because it's around you all the time. The chief steward stands there and she reads the menu word for word. And she literally has tears in her eyes as she does this. You can tell it's having a profound effect on her. And she said, "This is the last act that I'll ever be able to perform for you, except to pray for you. And I will be praying for you."
At 16, Miles was sentenced for felony robbery and criminal confinement charges. He still keeps a local newspaper headline from what he calls the worst day of his life.
As the reality of facing a lengthy prison term set in late last week, 16-year-old Miles Folsom went to the bathroom at Porter County Jail, carved "I'm sorry" on his chest, and attempted to hang himself. He was rescued before he died and was well enough Friday to be brought over to the court to tell the judge he is a changed man. Porter County Deputy Prosecutor Cheryl Polaric said that she did not buy the change of heart and the claim was not enough to overcome the young man's lengthy and violent criminal history. Porter Circuit Court Judge Mary Harper sentenced Folsom to 36 years behind bars. Even 25 years I couldn't comprehend, and I wasn't thinking clearly, and it really hit me. And I wrote a goodbye letter to my family and hung myself.
Had you ever been in juvenile?
No. This was my first time.
Gingerich's age and lack of criminal record caught the attention of Monica Foster, an Indianapolis attorney who's taken on his case pro bono. She's appealing Paul's adult sentencing and fighting to keep him in a juvenile facility.
He's never had a juvenile referral. Never a juvenile referral. I've never heard of such a thing. 12 years old, we're going to treat him like an adult with 0 juvenile referrals. But to treat a 12-year-old as an adult is for the system to say, we give up on you. There is nothing that we can do to rehabilitate you. And to me, that is selling the justice system so far short. And it is selling a kid like Paul so amazingly short. It's just ridiculous.